require editing and stuff.
Yeah, that would be. I'd have to be smart. I'd have to have a brain. Okay, fucking. Where are we going? Who says the where are we going? Me. What did I say last? I said I'm taking you guys somewhere. I could just start and be like,
We're still on a journey, boys.
Be like, where I'm taking you? Taking you home. Then we could just start it like that one.
All right, sure.
And welcome back to whatever the fuck this is. In that episode, what, 7? 5, 6? 5, 7, 5, 6. Where's Sean?
6?
I don't know
Yeah,
where.
Dimitri.
We're somewhere, dude.
It's probably 5 or 6, yeah. Well, let's see, wait, no, you had, the first one was with who? George. Then your friend, Manny. Then it was,
Dino and Tony.
Dino, Tony.
And the Weed Alex.
Weed Alex.
George Andre, 6.
So this is 6, man. 6, lucky number 6. Well, I don't know if it's that's lucky.
Yeah.
In some
Me, my number is
religion.
3. I like the 3. I'm gonna get actually the word 3 tattooed
I
on
think
my
3 is
knee.
big on a lot of people. The trifecta, the Trinity. It's yeah, it's pretty cool, man.
It's one of those numbers that's like everywhere. Like a real kind of crazy person would see that number everywhere.
Yeah, and if you're from Quebec like us, it's called tree.
True.
Like a tree.
Dimitri. Dude, there's 3 there's 3
Dimitri, you're freaking 3 syllables.
3 syllables. There's 3 3s in my name. I've thought of this because I'm one of those crazy people.
Okay, well I get now why you like the number so much.
There's 3 syllables, 3 I's, and the letter D in Greek is a triangle.
Oh.
3 3s.
Damn.
You can just call me 3 3, dude. Fucking.
Dimitri 3.
It was fucking okay. I'm kind of crazy. Let's get out of my crazy fucking brain moment things. I do think about. I like the number. It's a good one. But where were we talking about last time? Sort of. We left off ish. Was yeah, we were talking about teachers a little bit. Talking about one teacher in particular that was real important. That I found like I was saying, didn't just teach me things as much as taught me a way to think, which is pretty rare and pretty cool. Then we wrapped it up with some jokes and talks about leprechauns. we don't have to.
Which with the forbidden word we're not gonna say, but
yeah, we're being nicer. Little persons.
let's just say a little. Yeah, a leprechaun is a little person. He's a Irish mythological creature. Grants you. He's a trickster. And does he grant you wishes? No, I think he just makes you try to find his pot of gold. And he like says, "That's psych, it's mine." He's like, "Fuck off, kid."
Yeah,
You're gonna get it.
I don't actually know anything about leprechauns.
Okay, we're not gonna make this about leprechauns.
No. Let's go to the teacher shit.
The teacher stuff, yeah.
Fucking works.
So like I was talking to you, right? Like I only heard stories of Papa Day, so I didn't get to go to high school with you guys.
Yeah.
Granted, it would have been awesome. I'm pretty sure I would have been part of your group.
It would have been a good fucking time.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I know, like you said, he didn't just teach you the subject matter. It was more about the way of learning and the way of teaching.
Yeah.
No, that really plays true to my sentiments in terms of
the
education.
Nice. Yeah.
The education system. It was just like, I got that feeling with, because look, first of all, I sucked at math growing up. I think I had like dyslexia with numbers, big time. Like my addition to this day still sucks ass. I have to like get a calculator out. You know, so saying that, you know, calculus to me was like God tier. Like I could never understand the principal concept of a calculus, right? Yeah. Up until college where I had to do it because I did like a commerce deck, whatever, which is like a college degree here in Quebec.
Yeah.
And my teacher basically formulated that class in a way that was tailored to teaching the subject matter. It wasn't just like, here's the you know, the material and like kind of memorize it. And that's kind of what the school system here, what I'm seeing.
What did they do different? Like
so basically she's been teaching calculus for like the past 15 years, and her opening statement when she came to class was like, I've documented how students learn. Yeah. Through these past 15 years, and I've changed my notes and my way of teaching. Yeah, it's freaking amazing, dude. Yeah. And she's like, the way I made it was like a step by step, you know. And this is what you need to know to learn the next thing. And this, you know, so you do like factoring, you do like, you slowly ease into like, you know, learning how to do derivatives and stuff and whatever. Yeah. But no, it made me understand it, and I actually was able to pass something that I thought was near impossible. You know what I mean? So, and that to me was like, when you talk about Papadeus and like the way of teaching and learning, that to me was like how I felt with that specifically.
That's sick, actually. Yeah, funny enough, I had a math teacher that, like, of all the teachers that I've ever had, that I think had a real great way of going about it, and that really stuck with me. One of them was a math teacher for me too, actually. I had a teacher in CJEP that it was a similar thing. The way that they went about things, it wasn't just kind of regurgitating information at all. It was an experience, the class. It was like a whole thing. And this dude, he was Mr. Fox, I think his name was.
Mr. Fox.
Yeah, something like that. He was an old dude, Dawson. Actually, same class, calculus teacher, Dawson Calculus.
Huh.
And his whole thing was he always linked stuff to like stories, and he always had other terms for pretty much everything. Like there was one. What's the thing? It was like the graph, right? And like it goes ever closer to like infinity, positive and negative. But
limits, I think, right?
Yeah,
or,
okay,
or
the
like,
limits. Yeah. This is I'm gonna hit you with the limit story. It was a good one. So he's like, and the limit, like positive infinity, negative infinity, and all that kind of magical stuff. It's kind of difficult to wrap your head around. But he hit us with the story of something like, he's like, when I was like a kid like you guys, you know, in school, you fucking real smart, of course, right? The big math kind of whiz, having ended up in the fucking job that he has, it ain't too big a surprise. But he was like tutoring. He was like a tutor person. He would like tutor people in his class. That's how fucking far ahead he was.
Holy shit! Okay, yeah.
And he's tutoring this one chick, and he's like, oh, smoking hot, you know. And he's on his. Speaking of smoking, he's like, back when we were in these classes, like everybody used to have ashtrays everywhere. There was a janitor that would just come and like take all the ashtrays out. Like it was sick. Smoking indoors is the best. And we're like, okay, continue. And he's like, yeah. So there's one chick smoking hot, you know, and he was tutoring her. And one day he's feeling sick, and he's at home. He's like bedridden, you know, feeling like fucking shit. And but there was like a test coming up, and he had to help her out with something. And she said she'd come by, bring him soup, kind of thing, and whatnot. And the story basically goes, he's kind of in bed, like dying there, but still trying to help. And things got a little bit fucking, you know, things were looking nice for Mr. Fox there a little bit.
Man.
If it wasn't for the sickness, you know,
shit,
things might have played out in a certain way. And I can't do justice to the exact wording, but basically he's like, and we were this.
Oh my god. Okay, I was like, where the hell does the limit come in?
The infinitely close. He's like, wasn't even wearing clothes under the covers because he was like all fucking dying of sweaty feverness and stuff. And she was like right there at him, and the fucking everything happened exactly as it needed to, but just couldn't quite. And he's like, that is the limit.
It was like the infinite possibilities, but it could never touch.
Yeah, just like
touch.
that
it never happened.
Fucking layer that kept us apart.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah. I mean, like that. What a great story to remember. Like,
I'll never forget fucking the again. I lost the word because I just think of it as my teacher almost getting laid. But the actual way that it works mathematically, and the fucking like my brain being able to pull that information up is gonna be there forever. I haven't done calculus in fucking a long fucking time. I did that first semester CJ, and I'm never gonna forget that shit. He had another one for was it derivatives or something? With we have to break things down and keep breaking things down and breaking. What was the? I can't.
Factoring, I guess, or simplifying or something. Simplification, right?
Yeah.
Or factoring, I think is like when you break something down. Like when you create a formula.
There was things with the formula. Well, see, I just said that I'm gonna remember this shit forever, and I forgot.
Well, I mean, if you asked me to derive something now, I would not be able to do it. I
think it was
my notes out.
It was something about derivatives, and he was like, and he's talking about how it is that we'd split those things, and he's like. I call it the coat hanger method. I'm like, what do you?
Okay.
Because I got a story for this one too. So I had this, so he had this roommate back in college, you know, and when it was time to write the thesis, and the roommate put off writing that up until very, very fucking late in, you know. A really super smart dude, very able to do the fucking work, but didn't find any time for it, kind of pushed it off, and then he had to get a bunch of shit done like real fucking fast. So he just locked himself in the apartment and just ordered pizza for every meal, every day, for weeks on end. At the last stretch of this period of time where he had to have his thesis fucking completed for their whatever.
Okay, was this because like he was like so focused he didn't want to think about feeding, just order pizza?
Just ordered pizza. Couldn't do nothing. Didn't leave the apartment.
Right.
He had a lot of shit to do.
Yeah.
And shit he did. Shit's so fucking massive that he absolutely destroyed the plumbing in their room. Couldn't afford a plumber, these two young college students in their situation. So he developed the coat hanger method, and the coat hanger method was the way to break down the shit.
What the fuck, man? What do you think? Oh my god. I'm like, dude, the catches you saw like a freaking left hook, man. Like, you're like, where the hell is this coat hanger? I'm thinking like hanging clothes and putting your tie on something, your pants.
Negative.
You know, you just stack shit. And you're talking about fucking plumbing with a coat hanger, dude.
Breaking up
shit.
The shit.
Because of eating too much pizza.
Because he destroyed the dorm toilet.
So did he go into detail as to how he did it and stuff?
Just formed a coat, like, undid a coat hanger and reformed it in such a way that it was.
Oh my god, man. Got like a little spatula.
Pressed it in there, coat hanger method. So that's calculus basically, yeah.
So deconstructing shit and
almost getting laid and stuff.
Almost getting laid, man. It's very, yeah.
Point is, and that's not the only way to do it. Papa Davis didn't have shit like that. He just had a good way of explaining things. But yeah, I'll have to say that people that have a real passion for teaching, not just the subject matter, but the teaching part is nice. It's beautiful. It might be rare. I don't know. I don't know enough about school to know if it's rare, but it was kind of rare in my life. But there's a couple people.
I think it's it's they're more human, right? They're not just like robotic teachers, and it's a shame, you know. I think that's what it is. It's teachers that actually have pride in their jobs and they actually want to teach.
Yeah, they enjoy their craft.
Yeah, you know, and they find it's more pleasurable in their sense too. And I guess, you know, the thing too, as a teacher, you're trying to captivate the students to want to learn, right? If you're going to be a robotic, monotone kind of lecturer, people are going to fall asleep in class, you know? So I guess these stories and stuff, like Papa Davis' character, you know, my teacher talking about, you know, how she crafted, but you're still going to get the degenerate fucking kids, you know, in the backs, you know, shut up, Nancy, you suck, whatever, you know, like, I'm like, shut up, man. And this is too, like, because I came from failing math so many times, and I was like, hey, Sean, like, get your shit together now, fuck, like, it's enough. I can only spend so much money on fucking math classes. So, you know, at that point, like, in time, I matured in a sense, because I'm taking the damn class for, like, the third time. Yeah. And, you know, I was serious, and you know, you kind of, you get to appreciate people, like, teachers like that, who can see you trying to make an effort, you know, and they reward you. But, you know,
that's important, too, yeah.
But, yeah, I've had, like, bad experiences in school, too. It's just, like you said, teachers are like that.
100%, yeah. It's always great to recognize, and even outside of the school setting, if we could take maybe the conversation in that direction, learning things kind of in a more general sense, maybe, and just like the kind of like apprentice master fucking like dynamic just in things in life, I think is really cool. I always had like for example, online class things, always a struggle for me. I feel bad for people that have a similar brain to mine that are stuck in like pandemic schooling situations where everything has to be online, because that shit did not fucking fly, you know what I mean? The only thing that made that a thing, I did it for some elective classes that weren't super important and that I had friends in as well, so then we could, like, the learning could still be like human somehow, you know? Yeah. But strictly online shit doesn't fucking jive with me. And there's something about like the teacher student fucking thing, master apprentice situation outside of scholastic life, like even learning a skill or whatever, you know? It's cool, and it's there's been lots of teachers in different ways and places. You got to find teachers. Some people aren't even teachers. They don't even come out of the gate saying they're a teacher or something, but you still learn something from them, you know? And that kind of stuff's cool.
Well, like you mentioned life lessons and stuff, and you know, master apprentice and stuff. I mean, one of the big things too for life growing up, you know, for me was like, you know, having parents. Like you said, it's not always about school, learning, academics. It's my dad. Like he only graduated high school. Not to throw you under the bus there, Dad, but he only graduated high school like much older, you know. But he did go to like college and university. He never finished. But my dad was construction, you know, like hustle kind of guy, you know. Yeah. And you know, what the things he learns in the streets, you know, those are life lessons that I take to heart because they apply to real life situations and stuff. Yeah. And like you said, like that's only I can only have that experience with like him and me going out and doing stuff. And it's crazy, man. It's pretty interesting. Because at the end of the day, everything is human interaction, right? So whether you want to be academic about it or you want to be in the streets about it, you know? Yeah.
And some people have an easier time learning in one way or another. Like, there's different kinds of smart. I've always thought this, and I think I read up about it at a point a little bit, but I don't know the details. But there's like basically different kinds of intelligence, and unfortunately the only real intelligence that's measured in school is like memory and I mean, your ability to lie to some
fucking
extent.
regurgitate, man.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Memory. You know? Short-term memory is like the biggest form of kind of intelligence tested at school. But there's so many other. There's like creative intelligence, emotional intelligence, people observational kind of intelligence. There's the street smart things, which is I don't know like what kind of word that would be exactly. It might even be a category of its own, but I think observational.
I was gonna say observational.
And also like there's an intelligence of being able to decide things now. You know, when you're in a fucking bind and you have to do something, there's a type of smart that fucking makes the right call on the fly.
Yeah, yeah, and it's funny you mentioned that because I was thinking right away, you know, flight and fight. Kind of thing, and it's like that's the way the academics would word it, like flight and fight. But then the guy in the streets would be like, "Well, I do it, motherfucker." You know what I mean? Like you can know about it, but application wise,
exactly.
Like if you're not put in a situation where it's dire, you know, you don't. It's great to observe, like you said, but there's like the actual where what applies. I think there's a big importance factor about how people actually react.
And
you need to have both.
It's unfortunately harder to teach some of those other things. In like I get the purpose of school, right? Like you go, you sit, you take the class. It is great to be able to learn things and you know get better in a field and whatnot. But unfortunately, what it boils down to, a lot of it is, are you going to pass the next test?
Yeah, that's it.
So you're really hitting memory. Memory is just getting hammered. Short-term memory. Take what they tell me, tell it back to them. And all these other ways of learning are really absent from a lot of schooling, which is shit. But like you gotta be able to find that shit elsewhere and recognize when you're learning, like you said with your dad and stuff, like recognize when you're like, okay, I'm learning something valuable here and it's not something I'm gonna get anywhere else, and it's something like it'll happen to you. You could just be walking down the street and see someone do something that you're like, oh, I never even thought about doing that, like that kind of thing. But when you're exposed to it, recognizing that that's a way you could kind of upgrade your shit, being like, this is something I could take and learn from, and that stuff's really important. That's on you too as the student, you know. And that's the student master kind of thing. You gotta learn to learn a little bit too, you know.
Exactly, and you know, as you get older, I think you appreciate that more too. But you know, that's just a general statement. I don't think people can live all their lives not understanding, and it's to them. You know, it's really to the person deep down if they want to, you know, acknowledge things happening. Like you said, it's observational, right? You and you react based off your observations. So yeah, you know, the last thing I want to talk about, just like the schooling structure, I think, which is detrimental to why people hate it so much, is the timeline they give you. Forcing you to, like, you know what I mean? Like, they force you to learn the subject within a given number of weeks, and that's called a semester. And then we're going to base all your knowledge off of one examination. With, like, no tools around you that you can practically use in real life situations. It's like, what are you talking about here? You know what I mean? So it feels shitty in the sense that you're, like, handicapped, but like you said, it boils down to memorization. It's like, what the fuck, man?
A lot of it, unfortunately,
It is.
Out of all the different ways a person can be smart, most of what you're taught in school is just like, could you remember that though? You're like, I mean, if I have to, I guess. Like, that's the contract. You're like, okay, fuck. I'm paying you to tell me shit, and so I can tell it back to you pretty much exactly the same.
That's what it is, man. Like, if you put a gun to my head and it's like, memorize this, I have more pressure. I think I'm gonna memorize it. But you're telling me to pay you, memorize, and then telling me how much I suck about it. Like, I might as well just go pay a fucking, like, you know, some kind of BDSM chick to whip me, and then, you know what I mean, like, get some.
You should, man.
Like, that's what it feels like, dude.
A little bit of you gotta learn something that way too. Learn something about yourself. Learn about the inner.
Well, funny enough, I mean, they have psychology and stuff. There's like the Pavlovian stuff, you know. Imagine like you try to teach a kid times tables and you smack them, and it's like 4 times 4, you know, 16. Like, smack them.
Some houses do that shit, 100%. Not mine. I never got the smack for the math. I never got the smack math lessons, but we had a good time out there, more or less. I always felt majority of the time uncomfortable with school things because I kind of knew what it is that I'm able to say now, but it was just in the back. When you're young, you're just kind of like, what? You know what I mean? You're like, what the fuck is this? But every now and then you get the people that are just good at what they do, and there's something that appeals to you, and there's a click there, and that's healthy. That's really nice. Rare, but really nice. Yeah. Fucking teachers and learning things. What other kind of people do you think in your life were people that taught things or whatnot? What was like some, I don't know, some learnings if we're gonna keep it kind of rolling?
I think, well, I mean, like, you meet people, so friends are a big thing.
Yeah,
you know,
true.
I met you guys, you know, and this is part of learning too. We have discussions,
yeah,
whether it be for fun and stuff, but there's always that underlining kind of, you know, thing that everyone, whenever you talk to someone, it's educational in a sense, right? So.
Yeah.
You know, as you get drunk sometimes, we're having these conversations, we're going to delve into politics and stuff, and like, one friend may know something more than another, but you know, we're all drunk anyway, so it's not like we're just, who knows, we're spewing facts or anything, but it's like, what's great about it is that you're finding people's opinions, and that's how you shape your opinion, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like when you debate,
you're bouncing yourself off of other people, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like that's what's crazy actually about the internet stuff, and I brought this up in a Discord talk. I don't know if you were in there with some of the Discord boys. How like what's happening with these kind of online community things, these little like Discord in particular, because that's where we spend like a chunk of our time, a group of our friends, is really like the amount of time in hours spent of just being in someone else's head, actually. Like where the second you think something, you could just voice it and it's bounced off like 4 other brains and repeat it. You know what I mean? Like completely unfiltered, instantaneous, just about. Like short of fucking being a telepath, right? There's a level at which you guys know exactly what the fuck I think, because we'll be in each other's ears for like a chunk of time, you know?
Yeah, like, you know, like, yeah, and I know what you mean, and like, remember that time we had that joke there that came up with Tony and stuff, and like, it just clicked? That to me was some kind of brain,
fucking
Panama, man.
Yeah, Panama.
Like, that shit, dude, I genuinely felt in my bones, in my soul. I was like, this is like us connecting, and like you said, it's through Discord, like we're just we're chatting, but it felt like we were there in that moment together, like if we're at a house party or something, you know, like it's just
that was so nice. And all the words, everything, and everybody
I kept on adding, you know, I added a bit, and that's why I knew we were on the same brainlength, because you started, I started a bit, and I forget who else joined in, but
Tony was there. He was in there laughing. Alex was there. Panama.
Just like fucking butt naked, with just a t-shirt and holding 2 bottles of tequila or whatever it was. Looking into the sunset, fucking feet in the water, just oh shit. We should make a movie out that, man. We should.
It was beautiful. Just that scene.
Recreate that scene,
Yeah. It would take a lot. We'd have to.
Well, I don't know how much we had to pay Tony to have him make it on screen, but.
Like, come on, we fly him to Panama.
Yeah, exactly. Tony, we're bringing to Panama on one condition.
You gotta take a picture of your ass. Yeah,
At least
that was
fucking
funny. But shit like that, where, like, you really are, if it's people that you're comfortable with, and the amount of time that's spent just in each other's fucking head, like the second I think something and we're in the Discord shit, and it's the same thing with just about any. Well, people might have a little bit more of a filter. I don't really think that much before I talk. You know, it just kind of comes out. But it's really like I could say something and it's immediately processed, and I get a reaction and a reply like a, you know what I mean? Like it goes through the whole cycle that. People that weren't able to do that shit back in the fucking days, you know. And let's say I'll be in my neighborhood. I'll take a walk. Like I'll be out it'll be like a long, nice fucking day. I want to be out in the wild. 3 hours, grab a coffee, you know, up and down, all kinds of shit in the brain. I'll pop back in. I'll be like, no, you know what the fuck I was thinking of this, and then it's like immediately there's a whole other dimension to it that's added, because now this person says that, and that person says that, and that person says that, and a lot of this actually came out of that, really. There was a chunk of it that was, well, I mean, I had done something like this a couple of years back with a different group of friends, but that kind of fell apart because that group of friends kind of fell apart, unfortunately. But what are you gonna do? Anyways.
Yeah, I mean, life happens, and it doesn't mean anything like about your relationship. It just means that you tried something with, you know. Yeah. And but it's like a project that you're doing, right, with this and stuff. And I
always wanted to get back to it, and these little kind of. Some of the conversations that happened specifically in the Discord, they had to happen there over the last year because there was nothing else to do. There wasn't a world to live in, fucking really, because it's all shut down. So the shit had to happen there. Yeah. But and I wanted to kind of have that. I wanted to have there's little. I was never really a video person. I always liked that stuff, but I never was the person that took it upon myself to be taking these things. I never took a lot of pictures. like socially kind of things to come like remember different things. You're in your head, you're like, oh yeah, this and that, but I don't have any actual like hard anchors to any moments in time kind of in my life that I made myself. And this, I kind of want to be one of those. I want to be able to be like, what do I sound like sitting in a car with some friends at 27? You know, like what was actually, and there's always going to be a bit of a layer to it of like, oh well, there's a camera in front of you, and oh, like you know, fucking, I don't know, it's kind of like impromptu kind of fucking like we're just hanging out, okay, get in the car, fucking like it's slightly skewed, it's not perfect, but the imperfection of it is kind of perfect too, you know, like this is exactly what it needs to be. I think it's just good.
Yeah, I mean, like, especially like if you're doing a little podcast kind of interview kind of thing, you know, and it's raw footage too, it's like unedited, like you're talking about, you know, yeah, camera in front of you. I mean, you look at some of these celebrity actors and stuff. You know, it's their craft, right? To be an actor. No, I know, but I'm saying, like, I look at that because people don't really realize that, right? When you watch a movie, you're seeing just the character, and like, oh yeah, look, it's Johnny Depp, whatever.
Some people mix that.
But you don't like appreciate how much of an effort it is that they put upon themselves to put that character on and then portray it, and knowing that there's a fucking, like, I see some behind the scenes and like the guy's like so into character, like, you know, as a fucking pirate and shit, and the fucking camera's right in front of his face. It's like, how do you stay in fucking pirate form, you know? Like, I'd be like, dude, I ain't no pirate, man. I'm fucking on a set with fucking green screens and shit. Like,
especially with the green screens.
It blows my mind, dude. Yeah, you saw that bit with Gandalf and stuff, and Ian McKellen, and he was like, yeah, he was talking to like no one because it was all like CGI, and he was like,
this is an act.
He's like, mate, this acting, I can't do this. it's
poor guy. But he's an old man,
because he comes from like old times, man.
Theaters and shit.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, it is. And then the whole other layer of like, you do that so much, you lose the kind of yourself part a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
Because also there's parts of it like, then you got to be on display, you got to be there for the promos and the thises and that's, and you got to be like half the character, half you.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, I got to be the funny guy because my guy's the funny guy. So
bro,
like,
that's like I think about comedians all the time, and like imagine like you just go out for dinner and like, let's tell me a joke, you know? Like, I'm like, fuck, I'm trying to have fucking risotto here, man. I'm talking about telling you a joke, bro.
Yeah, you got to blur, and then with all kinds of like live celebrity things like Twitch streamer people and vlogger people where it's like their every waking moment is kind of recorded, and then the losing your, there's all kinds of wackiness, but we're just fucking regular Joes, and I just want to have real, as close to real without the obvious little bit of kind of weirdness of having camera shit, which is going to be there always. Like, we're not getting perfect fucking conversations with the boys, but dude, it is close enough.
We're trying to just have a good time, you know. And I think that's the thing too. When people start out doing these kind of things, it's they just they aspire for like success and like, you know, greatness, thinking that you're gonna become some kind of next Joe Rogan whatever podcaster. It's like, bro, like,
the show doesn't even have a name.
You know what I mean? But like that, but it's just like they forget to have fun in this, and this is like you said, when I watch this, it's fun watching, just because you said this whole last year has been pandemic and shit. I couldn't see you guys, so like in a way this is gonna be a fun way to look back and do this time and see you know, see us interacting and just documenting and watching, and you know, when we get drunk and stuff at house parties again, we'll watch it again and just nitpick the details, you know, and that's what's fun about it.
The humanity, a little bit of fucking, it's funny, like let's say back to the Discord shit, because that's a huge chunk of the time. Some of the boys that I'll be playing games with from like a different group of kind of friend people that haven't even necessarily met you guys, but you've seen each other's kind of faces and things. I mean, now you've seen each other's kind of faces and things. Sorry, I misworded that. Like, people, little voices and kind of things, people that have been around, you might have spent hours and they've kind of been in the same forum, you know, kind of riffing back and forth a little bit. Now it's like an extra little bit to that. Now all these other friendships have a chance of being a little bit more real, even through the fact of fucking pandemics and whatnot things, which we are luckily coming to a close on, apparently, which is fucking sick.
Yeah, finally.
But, you know, it's I don't know, it's been good. It's been a nice little project. I'm happy that fucking people have been into it. It's been nice. It's been learning too, exactly. It has been a learning thing. I've been able to, I feel like, kind of force a little bit, but like kind of get conversations happening in a way that's really fun. And even though it's like scheduled and I kind of don't really, I'm not great at being like a scheduling kind of things, time, work a certain way person, I think it's still been good regardless, you know? Yeah.
I mean, it's an art form, I guess. Like, it's entertainment, right? I look at it, so.
Yeah.
But
I'm entertained. I love it.
Yeah. But I think, you know, I wonder sometimes, like, you see these other like big podcaster guys, and I wonder, like, there must be a topic, obviously, right? But you know, like the only person I can really recount is like Joe Rogan and stuff.
Yeah.
And it feels to me that he actually just, he doesn't look like he has a plan of action. Like obviously he does the booking and he has his whole crew and stuff and people know him, but he really does provide the opportunity for the interviewee, I guess, the person he's interviewing, to talk about their story, talk about, you know, whatever that's on their mind, and then he bounces back. Which is cool in a way. And then there's like there's no reason to feel like you have to be prepared for anything. It's very is it like what, ad lib, I guess?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, they're just kind of talking. And yeah, I never really got too deep into like actual podcast territory things. Joe Rogan things I had watched for a couple of years on and off. I agree with you that he's the dude's good at letting people kind of go and talk about things and just being like a good host kind of thing, like a good, like comfortable fucking spot. I always did enjoy that for whatever episodes I had seen. I never got too big into podcast things in general. I don't even know if this could even be called that, all things considered.
No, I mean it has the flavor of it.
Yeah, it's like a show. Sorry, things are flashing. I'm not sure what's going on. But it's good. It's recording. I see numbers. Hey, why is it doing that? I thought it was the battery for a second. Whatever. But
or the SD card or whatever. Oh man, I hope you have enough memory.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Fine, no, I'd get a notification of some sort, I'm sure. Right?
Maybe it's blinking because.
Right.
Anyways.
Fuck them. We're good.
This is how you know you're an amateur set. If you look back at the footage.
I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, man. I just like me some visuals and some audios and some audio visuals, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think, you know, it sucks nowadays that there's a lot of it being pumped out, you know, with these social media applications.
It's like a
TikTok
job.
And stuff.
It's like a job.
Well, people get paid big bucks for it now, man. So, yeah. And then it's funny enough because we're talking about like high school and stuff, and just made me think about, like when I was in high school, we posted like stupid videos. Like videos that I would probably get in trouble now if hopefully they're deleted. But like, you know, little skits that we would do, you know, like, you know, fighting and stuff. But like, I don't know if it's like considered correct or whatever nowadays. Probably. But anyways, I was young, I was in high school, but we did that, like, and this is part of the time where like YouTube wasn't really big or anything. Like there was no like public submitted footage, you know. So we did that, not knowing that, you know, say 10 years later, that this is going to be a big thing now, and people make livings off of it.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle. It's crazy.
It is, yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's a job. It's a skill. Well, there's a lot of skills that come together to make it happen, and it's being like streamlined kind of, which is understandable. But I don't want this to be that, dude. I don't know what this is, but I just want to sit in a car and talk to friends, and maybe get out of cars eventually. Also, sneak peek, sneak preview, teaser trailer. Maybe we're somewhere else also in the future. Maybe I actually buy some microphone setup technology and get us places. Who knows? No guarantees. Look at all these people with their tags.
Cool folks. Enjoying the weather.
I had an idea how I wanted to wrap this and I forgot. Oh yeah. Where are we going? We're going home.
Home, sweet home!
Sweet home, Alabama. Why are the skies so blue?